Why, yes, that is Grand Theft Auto 5 running on a handheld device. Haha, that's not the video today. No. Today's video is all about, will GTA 6 ever come out? Now, as a Grand Theft Auto enjoyer, as somebody that plays Grand Theft Auto online, which, by the way, Grand Theft Auto 5 as a game is so old at this point that we can actually emulate it on PC. Granted, you'll need some expensive kit, but you can actually emulate the PS3 version of GTA 5 and play it all the way through so far, as far as I can tell. Now, I've been playing the heck out of GTA 5 PS3 emulated. Why? Because I'm a weird individual, okay? Because the things I do on my computer make absolutely no sense sometimes. Then again, I also emulate GTA 4 and Vice City because Rockstar took out some pretty iconic songs for licensing reasons. I mean, how do you play Vice City without Billie Jean? How do you play GTA 4 without Sir Yoga's King Ring? It's not even the same game. Look at how they massacred my boy. How do you play the same? This isn't even the game anymore. Half the game is missing. Now, GTA 5 is so old at this point that the PlayStation 3 version of its online is shutting down this December. Which, yeah, I've never actually seen a game where during its life cycle, it has to be shut down. But what do you expect from Grand Theft Auto 5? A game that released on the PS3 and is now coming out on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and maybe updated on the PC. I have no clue. Expanded and enhanced. Talk about re-released and re-released. So it's kind of wild when Rockstar released the enhanced and expanded trailer for the PlayStation 5 reveal. I swear to God, it almost seems like Rockstar literally used PS3 footage half the time for this. I mean, quite literally, if you look very closely, those shadows, that looks PS3 to me. I'm just telling you right there. And then the rest of the trailer focuses primarily on like online content, which I guess kind of details where GTA 5's development pretty much went to after its release. Because yeah, if you're looking at flying cars and government secrets, yeah, that's where the GTA storyline is headed to, okay? The online storyline at least. And if you look at the likes to dislikes, yeah, I'm pretty sure the fan base is starting to be a little fed up with it as time goes on. But hey, I know I'll still buy this on PlayStation 5 when it comes out. I'm part of the problem, and I fully admit it. GTA 6 is one of those games where I know it's coming out. I know everyone I've talked to is really cynical these days. They're like, but Muda, they have GTA Online and it prints money. They've got shark cards. Guys, do you honestly believe GTA 6 isn't gonna come out? Guys, GTA 6 means GTA Online version 2. And if you think Rockstar's gonna give up another money printer like that, you're out of your mind. Red Dead Online isn't working too well for them. Red Dead is a great game, story-wise. Online-wise, Rockstar could give fuck all, because no one's spending money on gold bars apparently in that game, so they don't really care. But GTA Online, whew! Apparently every kid's buying a shark card these days. I wish I could kind of be memeing there, but to be real with you, GTA 5's sales pace has never actually slowed down. I mean, just in 2020, this thing was selling more than 1 million copies and was the United Kingdom's 3rd biggest selling game of the year. And a lot of that probably just has to do with the fact that GTA 5 has such a strong roleplay community, and there's mountains of sales being sold. GTA 5, I have met people who are not even interested in the game's storyline, the single player. I have met people who don't care about GTA Online. I've met people who don't even care about the role-playing online. They just buy Grand Theft Auto 5 because it's a pretty-looking game, and they just like to drive around in it, okay? GTA 5 is kind of like Minecraft at this point. If you don't like anything the game has to offer, you can modify it to your heart's content and add things like LSPD FR, or any of the various single-player mods that exist. I mean, it's truly one of the most modular games at this point, and that could be said for any GTA, but GTA 5, you know, it really evolved into sort of a beast of its own. Now, GTA Online 2 will definitely come out with a pre-order bonus that involves the Oppressor Mark III, alright? If you ever looked at this motorcycle, I think people overblow it, but I actually think people mostly undersell this. This is the worst thing GTA has ever created, okay? It is a motorcycle that can fly through the air and blow up anything in free mode. For a game lobby where everyone is mostly moving around goods to make money, moving guns, drugs, whatever you want to call it, somebody flies this thing and blows your shit up and types ja 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 in the text bar is the most infuriating fucking feeling ever imaginable. But you know, I'm getting well off topic. I've been looking around at GTA 6 and there's a lot of leaks that have been flying around. Leaks, I guess you could say. Now, of course, according to this cute little leak here, Enhanced and Expanded has been completely redeveloped on the Wage Engine. Now, I don't expect this to look like Red Dead 2 or, something massively updated. Probably a couple enhancements. If you think visually it's going to look, radically different, I hope Rockstar treats it seriously and not like the GTA like the GTA 5 graphic community on YouTube. Seriously, look up GTA 6 graphics. You'll find a ton of these people running ENB mods and like crazy reshade filters and basically making Los Santos look like it's in the middle of a fucking tsunami. So it looks good. Here's a real tip for you guys out there. Puddles are not representative of great graphics. I'm just saying, okay? Oh, sandpaper my balls, because we've got improved vehicle damage and physics, baby! Gee, I think on a next-gen system it should be like that. It's a fucking PS3 game, guys! Euphoria overhaul for better ragdolls. If you don't know Euphoria, go back to GTA 4. You can do a lot of wild shit with a certain swing set. GTA Online receiving 4 large updates leading into the marketing campaign, which will take place over live events. God, I hate that term. Now, GTA 6 has the weirdest leaks that I've ever seen. They're not close to the leaks of GTA 4's caliber, but, where we were getting rickrolled every YouTube video. But this is sort of a map leak that people have been looking at, where you've got a whole lot of ocean in between, a lot of sharks, maybe shark cards hidden in between them, but they've got some cities. Notably, if you look at the end there, that is considered to be Florida's penis, but in the GTA universe, that is Miami, or Vice City, which is interesting, given that Vice City is the last city that hasn't actually been brought to the high-def universe. We got San Andreas, well, a third of San Andreas, we've got Liberty City, we got no Vice City. Now, this is another leak going back to that good old 4chan post, and where they've said that, hey, they're going to release 4 large updates with live services, and I guess if they're going to reveal GTA 6 in GTA Online, I wouldn't actually be surprised, given how much that section of Grand Theft Auto has received the most amount of attention in the last several years. Now, you've got a map stitched together of leaks from another user, which, if this is anywhere close to true, this will be the most boring fucking flight all the way through. My God. Oh, hold on to your butt cheeks. You're not looking at Driver 3 footage. Yeah, this used to be back in the day of GTA 4, not specifically 6, but I wanted to bring it up because this was actually one of the leaks that I personally believed when I was a 10-year-old sperm cell. And I might say it's a weird one because it's got this, weird Super Monkey Ball 3D map going on. All these cars parked around, these, weird depressed NPCs. And then I've got my main character holding a fucking mace and shit. So yeah, I guess I kind of believed it back in the day, but obviously this leak never was real. Now, this is a map related to the Project Americas leak, which actually I think turned out to not really be true at all. But here they're comparing the actual, Miami, the city of Miami, to Vice City's supposed map, which, I want to remind you guys, I think this is the closest possible map that they could ever introduce for Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, other than Carcer City, there really isn't any other city that Rockstar is going to iconically touch if they make GTA 6, when they make GTA 6. I know I've been rambling a fair bit, but GTA 6 is a game that's definitely on its way. Regardless of how many people from the Rockstar, development team have sort of left, there's been a lot of drama around that, but GTA 6 is coming. I think people forget that Rockstar has now developed games at an incredibly slow pace, but the games that they've been developing have been pretty massive. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2 look really great, and they're incredibly immersive, and they're so packed with content that I don't doubt the amount of years it takes to develop games like this with a heavy crunch cycle. So when I look at games like GTA 5, for instance, if we whittle just on back to it, there are elements of Grand Theft Auto 5 that are still not recreated in most open world games released to this day. GTA 5's world simulation is a cut above. If I compare it to something like Cyberpunk 2077, which I know it's easy to rag on, but that game looks really good visually. However, there is a section of its world simulation that just doesn't cut it. Games like GTA 5 have traffic systems that games have yet to match, police systems that games have yet to match, and an entire, trove of details and features that make GTA 5 City feel different than any other city that you would find. Flying above Los Santos, even back on the PS3, blew me away, and doing it now on the PC still blows me away, more than I could ever expect. There are a lot of people that would never care to play the single player for GTA 5, and that's fine. Even the online, that's fine. but I have met people that willingly will spend over 1,000 hours just driving around in the game because there's simply nothing else like it. You know, if it takes Rockstar Games years to develop between each iteration, you have to understand, back in the days of GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Rockstar was still pumping these games out on the Renderware engine. Yeah, they were expanding on what they had, but this is before they had their own engine to really push. And once they started doing that with GTA 4 and 5, there was a push towards atmospheric realism and finally creating a world that felt way different compared to what they had. Now that we have PlayStation 4's and Xbox One's last generation, I don't think that they were exactly the ideal systems for a massive open world title. Sure, they can run games like Red Dead Redemption 2 fine, and while Red Dead 2 is a great game, it certainly isn't rendering massive metropolitan areas aside from like Saint Denis, which, again, compared to GTA, is a small town. With games like Grand Theft Auto 6, if it takes place in a massive city like Miami, there's no doubt that Rockstar would need the systems we have today in the forms of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X to truly render a world without having massive frame rate drops. And if they want to achieve the level of detail that Rockstar is known for having through each release of their games, they're gonna need the hardware that we have now. So if that's one of the reasons that I'm speculating is why GTA 6 hasn't come out and all we've gotten is online content, that's probably the most positive reason that I can think of. Of course, the cynical side of me believes that ever since the billions of dollars Rockstar earns through Grand Theft Auto Online, there's probably a stronger idea that there's more of a focus towards what's cheaply done versus meaningful content. This also really takes me to the next cynical aspect, and I don't want to harp on it too much, but Rockstar Games was a company that usually made multiple IPs. During the 360 PS3 era, you had Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, but you also had Red Dead Redemption, you had Midnight Club, Los Angeles, you had games like Max Payne 3. With the PS4, Xbox One gen, all we've gotten is the GTA 5. Well, I'm not even going to count that as a game. That's a PS3 title. The only thing we've gotten is Red Dead Redemption 2. But the other big focal point is back in the day, Rockstar used to provide DLC expansions that actually were slapping their competition in their face. Back in the day, when you spend $15, you got a map pack for a Call of Duty game. But back in the day, GTA 4 came with 2 expansion packs, Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and Damned, for like 1,600 Microsoft points, $20 roughly. And the $20 would get you basically an entirely new GTA game from a story perspective, new multiplayer content, new vehicles, new gameplay. That's what we had back in the day. Red Dead Redemption 1 had an amazing zombies component. Red Dead Redemption 2 has fuck all but Red Dead Online expansions. I guess it's known that if we're going to go by raw numbers, clearly the community prefers online content. A few cars added, some contact missions, adversarial modes that no one fucking plays, and a couple heists. But it is kind of a slap in the face to us old-timers when Rockstar Games, which is primarily one of the cooler, like, single-player, immersive-style, open-world gods that they are, have now switched to this basic online grindathon that they've created in GTA Online. And for 8 years, this is all that's been funded. We haven't even gotten an announcement for Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, all we're sitting on is speculative, like, rumor mills. And at the end of the day, is GTA 6 going to come out? Obviously, of course. But I guess there's a cynical side of all of us that maybe assume that given how GTA Online has been given the full fellatio treatment over at Take-Two and Rockstar, that GTA 6 might just be sort of a shell to push GTA Online 2, which, as you can imagine, is probably designed from the ground up to force you into buying shark cards. And if you don't want to pony up for a shark card, you better work a full-time fucking job, and you better get used to it pretty goddamn quick. I keep playing through Los Santos, and this emulated footage, even on PS3, which probably doesn't look impressive to you now, if you go all the way back to 2013 when this dropped, the world rendering of Los Santos was incomparable to anything else at the time. And even when you look at GTA 5's world, in comparison to even open world games that have come out just a year ago, it's kind of fucking insane. It's kind of massive what Rockstar did with the PlayStation 3, even the PS4, and not that impressive with the PS5, given how old this game is. But when I look at Rockstar developing games, they already gave Red Dead Redemption 2, which is already a massive title in of itself. I think at this point, GTA is kind of one of those games for Rockstar where it's like, how do we expand and recreate the open world moving on forward? And I have to imagine, and this is just a theory of mine, I'm pretty sure GTA 6 is some point in development for PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones, but I have to imagine the scope of GTA has evolved to the point where the world is not only much more massive, but the entire simulation quality has probably quadrupled over GTA 5. It's probably a much more impressively rendered world. And for that, they needed the hardware that is finally available today, in the name of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So I have to imagine when GTA 6 drops, it's probably going to blow our minds with how great it looks, but also how smooth it runs, given the hardware, and how impressive the world they're going to be showcasing actually looks. I still rewatched the original trailers of GTA 5 and am blown away. Hell, I even rewatched the trailers of GTA 4 and I'm absolutely shocked at what they were doing with the systems at the time. So I'm excited for GTA 6, which is definitely on its way, alongside Grand Theft Auto Online, the online service that's still probably going to leak your IP address, and it's still going to contain douchebag players blowing all of your shit up for no actual satisfaction other than making their tiny little e-penises grow just a little bit bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, if you use the Oppressor Mark III, your parents don't love you, and this is why your dad cheats on your mom. That being said, though, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I just wanted to talk about some GTA 6. This is me, Muda, and I am out.